Hey guys, welcome to Coptic Topic. I'm Maurice,
And I'm Maria,
and today we're back with Max and Gio.
and we're going to be going through the last three non-redemptive sacraments.
Okay, so today we're going to be starting with marriage. What is the meaning of a true marriage in the Coptic Orthodox Church?
Oh, you're
Oh,
married.
I had to
answer.
it's a union of two people becoming one flesh, and God as the foundation and the center of it. And yeah, I mean that's really it at the beautiful like level that two people with all their weaknesses, all everything that they bring, they're no longer two individual people. They become one flesh, and God blesses it, and He is part of that relationship, and it's an unbreakable bond that can't be taken away.
The rest, therefore, what God has
Has like
has
bond,
joined
has
together.
joined, let not
let
man
not
separate.
man separate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the husband is like the Christ. He's the father of the house, as if it's like a little church. And the mother, like as like Saint Mary, and she's the caregiver example, like. Yeah.
It's a good introduction. You covered all the points. It's pretty much like when the two become one, they come
Yeah.
to the altar together to receive Christ in the middle of their blessed marriage. Let's just hop into it, guys.
Yeah.
I was going to ask on the oh my gosh. What does like a true marriage look like in the Coptic Orthodox Church?
Well, I think I didn't mean to hop in
No,
for
you're
you, but
married,
I
I'm
think
not.
there's a big difference with what we see in like the secular world and like today's society, where it's I'll start with what it's not. It's not a relationship that it's just about satisfaction and about our own personal interests and just like pleasing ourselves, right? If that's our idea of a relationship, we have the wrong concept, because that's what the world is about. People maybe get married with each other, they move in with their girlfriend or something. You hear people doing that, and it's all about themselves and how they feel, and they want to be satisfied. They want to enjoy that. The moment that that's taken away, the moment that a hard time comes, khalas, like this person's not giving me anything I want anymore, right? That's not what it is. It's not all butterflies and rainbows, right? What this marriage is in the Coptic Church is, like I said, it's a union. You are one flesh, so you go through ups, downs, you go through highs, lows, and you guys both keep Christ in the middle, and you guys both take strides together towards Him, right? So it's no longer like my way or the highway. It's and the most important thing, like I said, is it's not just about like our own personal interests. You have another person now that you are caring for, and another person that you have in your life that you know it's not just your responsibility just to take care of yourself. You need to both help each other along this road towards like the path towards Christ.
Adding on to what Max said, about the relationship just being self-pleasing, for example.
Yeah.
And then when hard times comes, they don't know how to deal with it. And this is a cool fact. If you guys ever seen like an Orthodox wedding, actually, there's no vows in the wedding, and there's a reason behind it. The reason would be that I think I'm gonna shout out Abuna Anthony Mesa here. He said like in one of his
I love him.
Abuna, STSA, amazing Abuna. He says that vows are overrated because you can promise your significant other a billion things. I'll love you forever.
And then they divorce a year later.
And they divorce. The point that he was trying to make though is like you can't promise something knowing that it's impossible. It's impossible to love someone every second. Even you can like love someone every second of every day, but you will dishonor your husband and wife at certain moments. You will do all these things which like you don't intend to do, but like it's the weakness of humanity.
Yeah.
And he says that instead of when you see an Orthodox wedding, since there's no vows, you don't make vows. There's actually no talking between the bride and groom. You just come to Christ and you ask for His blessings to give you all the perseverance, the love, the patience, all the great virtues that you need to have a successful marriage.
No, that's very good. Yeah, no. I was gonna add on to that. Like, even though we don't make vows necessarily to each other, we go on our knees, kneeling in front of the altar. Like we are, and we have the crowns. We put on the robes. So like we are both standing in front of God, and we are committing to becoming one flesh. We are committed
What
to
do the crowns
know.
and the robes symbolize?
um
The crowns are king and queen. So
yes. I remember the answer, but sorry, I don't remember the answer, but I know the answer. So we can cut that part out. Yeah. I don't remember.
Okay.
there's scripture. It says right, the husband shall be like the the king of his household,
Yes.
and the wife as the queen on the right hand of the on the husband, and they're both the leaders of their household. So that's where the crowns come from. As for the gowns, I'm not too sure actually.
Yeah.
I think it's honor, or like how like princes or royalty wear their own special vestments.
Yeah, it says, I looked it up. It says the crowns themselves are signs of glory and honor that God bestows upon the couple during the sacrament.
Okay.
And the gowns. Anyone got the gowns?
Let's look it up.
Maria.
No, I don't know.
You're gonna say something.
Oh, it was gonna. Well, I can wait till after.
Okay.
'cause-
It says,
Mm.
no, this is still the crowns. I don't know. I think they go in hand
Yeah,
in hand.
hand in
I think
hand.
it's just like
together.
they're like dressed as
Also, in the
The
weddings, some
kings
weddings
and
they have they have the groom and bride. They're anointed with the holy oil. Sorry, and this also signifies that they're now sanctified as one flesh. And I don't think it's done every wedding. I think it's like a choice. Is it an option? Because I know some weddings don't have the holy oil.
I mean, yeah, I don't think no, I at least in my wedding, there wasn't a choice. I mean, we got.
Oh,
I don't think there is a choice.
Yeah, I think it's part of the church rite.
Ah.
And like when you go on Coptic reader, it's part of
It's
the
part of
service.
the anointment.
You know the red string that they put around y'all? Is that the same what's it called? Like meaning behind it as the baptism or no?
The red string
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking. Well, the ring.
in the ring, inside the ring.
Well,
I don't know,
The,
there's
the
like a
red
red
string
string.
ties both of the rings,
rings.
together,
Okay.
right? At least how I thought about it, and I could be wrong, is that this is like an unbreakable bond now that cannot be ripped. But I don't know about the baptism one.
That's a very good question. I know for the rings on the rope, or the little red thing, when it does the three signings, it's pretty much him like blessing them, and then later on in the wedding, he takes them still in the red way before they put it on their fingers. He still blesses them to sanctify them and make them one, like the rings, like giving the rings blessings. So the red,
I didn't know they did that. That's so cool.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know the baptism.
You know
one.
more than me. And
No.
Like,
Monasticism. Maria, what was your statements?
Well, I was actually gonna go off of what you were saying about like, can a marriage be successful if God's not in the center of it?
I think you're gonna. The thing is, if God's not in the center of it,
What is?
then we put ourselves next, right?
I think.
I mean,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No,
yeah,
go,
I'm
go.
Sorry. I was gonna say I think if God's not in the center of it, then it's no longer like you're not keeping the point of the sacrament, because it's supposed to be a path towards salvation. And if you don't keep God in the middle of your marriage, then what are you going towards?
I have another question branching off. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing I was gonna say is, if you remember in the this is not necessarily an answer yet for the marriage one, but God says like whoever not abandon, but like forget your husband, your father, your mother, your children, and like follow me, take up your cross and follow me. So like, if we get to the point where God is not the priority and we start worshiping our spouse, or our spouse is like in a sense the idol, right? Because it's not meant to be like that. Like we're both meant to be together, but it's not like I abandon God and it's all on her. So, or all on him. So like we don't with the priority. God is, if we have God as the priority, whenever the tough times come, it's not about myself, right? And that characteristic of that I'm willing to go through the tough times because I trust God in all things. That is what creates a successful marriage. Because if it's just you're just living in the world and going through that, you see how the world is going. Like people go through 3-4 years of marriage. Sometimes it doesn't work out because God is you. If you come back full circle and you realize God, if He's there, we will put everything aside and we'll come back. But what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, on the flip side of that, now when God's not in the center, then what is in the center? Whether it be like personal desires,
Yeah.
societal expectations, money,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. When God is not in the center and these things are in the center, then you gotta like think of the the trajectory that your life is kind of going on towards. When you got put on the altar to get married to your spouse, it's sort of that like lifelong commitment to help each other get to the kingdom of God. But when the focus is sort of taken away from that, then you might stray away from that straight line that we're told to stay on, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask. Sorry, I lost it. Oh, what should change in a relationship beyond like the legal like marriage when you get married? Like when you go from like engagement or dating to marriage
What should change?
in
Like,
your relationship?
What should?
Yeah, or if anything should.
well, I mean, like, if we're talking about like a Coptic relationship, like obviously, now that you live with each other,
Yeah.
right? This is the first. This is different than a regular relationship in the world, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you live with each other, you're faced with different challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of us are so used to living with our parents or living alone that it's all centered around us. Maybe we have a relationship or like in our period of engagement or courting, we were just like seeing the spouse, seeing the partner and like, 2-3 hours and then go back home. So the biggest thing I think that I'm trying to get at that needs to change is we try to start forgetting about ourselves, putting ourselves as the third priority. God, spouse, us. And that's the change that needs to happen, because before that it's just God. I mean, you have your parents and stuff, but it's God and you. Like you guys, you are you're basically accountable for yourself, but now that you're one flesh, now that you have created the first part of your family, that's the first step. And you can't lose track of that, because once you start going back to single life, your brain goes back to, okay, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. But no, you have somebody that you need to care about. Yeah.
I want to branch off of that. Also, adding on top of that, there's like the misconception that once you get into a marriage, like when you said that when the relationship like changes, the habits that you still have will not change. So, say you have bad habits,
Yeah.
you can have like the mentality that I can't talk.
Yeah.
From what you understand,
Like this is my weakness and this is who I am, and you're gonna have to accept.
بالظبط. When you enter marriage, whatever bad or good you have with you, it's gonna go with you. Don't think that marriage is gonna be the fix-it. That's gonna
For sure.
make you stop being lazy.
Oh, 100%. And I'm glad you said that, to branch off of that again. Well, he said fix it. Marriage is not a fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You are still accountable for yourself and your actions and your own growth.
Yeah.
You don't, just because the other person is amazing and you're amazing when you're around them, doesn't mean that gives you the excuse to start neglecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or start like, okay, I'm not like practicing like self-control, or like I'm not being the best version of myself I could be. So it's not a fix it, like he said. And now that I'm in a marriage, that doesn't mean, okay, now like khalas, life is going to be great and I should be completely satisfied at all moments. Like I said, you should be ready to go through tough times, because that's what creates the fruits. That's what creates the plant,
I really like something that you said in the fellowship lesson that you gave, Max. It was on marriage, and you were saying how it's like sort of a race, and when one is ahead of the other, you have to sort of wait and catch up, or vice versa, whatever, who's in front or who's ahead.
Yeah.
You always have to stay at the same pace, sort of, to keep going in the race, because if one is further ahead than the other one,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that.
So that's exactly, if you just go with your life and forget that you have a partner in anything, but spiritual life especially, that again, you forgot about. It's not just you. And you put yourself back at number one, which is, that's the biggest sacrifice in a marriage, because now you are sacrificing yourself and putting them, her or him in front.
Going off what you said earlier, when you do face those hardships in marriage, what makes us different? Because sometimes the hardships get too far in like the secular world, and it'll lead to divorce. For us, what is different, and how do we like approach these hardships? And then what is the exceptions for divorce? I know that's more of like a for the audience, but
Do you want to go first? Because I feel like I'm answering them.
No.
That's a little
You're the one that's married,
Yeah,
man.
no, you start and then I'll get it.
Okay, which question do you want to... Can we break down the questions?
yes. How should we approach our hardships differently
Yeah.
from like marriage in the secular world, so it doesn't
Mhm.
lead to divorce, I guess.
Take this one. I'll take the one after.
So, the biggest thing is that divorce is never a solution.
Yes.
And the problem is in the world is that a solution? That's one of the options that they consider. Like if you want to think about it, there's option A, B, C, D.
You have a way out.
They have in their book option D is divorce.
Mhm.
We don't have that option, and that's the problem. If we go in first of all in the marriage already with the mentality that that's an option,
Yeah.
then we're already failing. That should never be an option, and that's the first thing with any argument, with any problem. And trust me, there's going to be different levels, different dimensions of problems that you're going to have, whether it's financial, family related, work, health, whatever, travel. There's going to be so many dimensions of problems, and every one of them will be handled and solved in a different way. But the most important thing is that we don't go in with the mentality of divorce is an option, and we don't go in with the mentality that I'm right and it's my way or the highway, and I get what I want and I get what pleases me. Because like Anabuna said it before, marriage is sacrifice, not just at the moment of you're married, but continually.
Mhm.
And if you're not willing to continually sacrifice and keep God in the center, then that's when the problems grow larger, because God is no longer at the center of it. Now the problem is at the center of the relationship, and it's keeping you guys far apart. So like the whole point is God is the glue. Once you get rid of that glue and the problem takes its place, there's a separation that occurs.
Okay. Do you want anything?
That was the first question. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the first question.
Or Maria?
I just want to add one thing to that, though. It's sort of like a controversial point that I've heard about recently. It's the idea of getting a prenup signed in Coptic Orthodoxy. But listen,
Yeah.
the idea behind it is, for example, there's like not tax evasion, but you
Sorry,
can.
prenup is to protect your assets, right?
Yeah, correct. So obviously in the Coptic Orthodox Church, we believe that we're going into marriage without the option of divorce, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Now, when couples decide, when a husband, for example, wants to get a prenup just for like tax reasons, stuff like that, but the wife doesn't see it like that. She sees it like as in her eyes, she sees like that. And rather than that, he wants to find a way out. But in his eyes, truly, it's helping his tax income get more money, whatever. He sees like the financial strategy behind it.
I don't agree with
We had
that.
a big conversations about this one time in the library, and we were talking
Was I there?
about. I don't know. We were talking about how like someone said like you should sign a prenup because of tax like benefits, and they were like it's nothing to do with like how much you love the other person. It's like you should sign it like for your financial like benefit. But in my opinion, I think it's up to the couple. I'm not gonna lie.
It's if it's that deep to them, I feel like if the wife or husband think like, no, the meaning behind this is too iffy for me, then khalas. But if the couple's like, yeah, bro, more money for us, more tax, saved money from taxes, then
I mean, yeah, I agree.
I don't know the church's stance on it. I'll be 100% honest.
Me either.
But my personal opinion, I'm not in favor of it, regardless
Really?
of tax benefit or not.
elaborate a little.
Like I said, because it goes back, and even if that's not the intention, it goes back to divorce is still an option. Whether it's option E, whether it's option D, it's still an option. Because I know in the back of my head, I have that assurance that if I still want a divorce, if it ever happens, at least my assets are there. I know that may not even be the benefit, and that may not be but you don't know the person's heart. You don't know what their intention is. So as a spouse, if that's not something you agree with,
Don't you feel like you should know the intention though? Like if you're marrying though?
you
You
should.
think
But like
so?
I said, when you get married, this is the first time you've lived with each other.
Yeah.
This is the first time you guys have been with each other 24 hours in a day. I mean, I hope, that's the first time. If you guys were there together 24 hours, there's a problem,
Yeah.
Like, so my point is, you get to see the person, their true intentions and their personality gets revealed when you're with them every day, living with them, So, I don't know. My personal opinion, it's not something that I would do. But again, the church, I don't know if the church has an opinion. I'm sure the father of confession that's like
Definitely.
in charge of the marriage, if they
Yeah.
told them they were going to do that, he'd probably have an opinion.
I mean, some of them expire, so I guess like I
Yeah.
don't know.
So
I
you
really
renew
don't.
it. Yeah.
Also, there's like some agreements that like allow you to have the prenup, but also allow you to like still have like rights for the, like either the husband or wife that doesn't have the same level of assets to like have it evened out. God forbid
yeah.
a divorce does happen.
I mean, the divorce has to go through the church either way. So
That's question 2, right?
what?
Uh,
Yeah,
what
that was
were
part
the
of question
exceptions?
too.
Yeah.
Well, it has to go to the church.
It does.
But like if they're on the same like level of spirituality, like I don't know. Like
Mm.
I feel like it would have to go through the church for them to even get a divorce aslan.
Definitely.
So
Yeah,
Correct me
unless
if
they
I'm-
want to separate from the church,
yeah,
which
that's
is
true.
what we're going to answer the second question.
Mhm.
You were saying, I
What
think
are
that was
the
the second question.
yeah, what are the bro, I keep forgetting my words
The
today.
exceptions to divorce,
There we
right?
go.
You were going to say
or
answer
divorce.
first.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in the Coptic Church, there's like actually a board of bishops that oversee divorces, and they're the ones that see these cases come in,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
and they obviously are wiser than me personally by a million times, and they can make these sound decisions based on the circumstances given from each specific couple.
Yeah.
I know one on the top of my head is getting widowed. God forbid your spouse passes away, then the committee, after I think it's a certain amount of time of abstinence, you can remarry eventually. Obviously.
But that's not a divorce, is it?
Oh, okay. That would
At
not.
that point,
Yeah, yeah.
like you're not gonna.
I was talking about remarriage.
You'll have to get approval to get remarried.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Divorce. The big one would be cheating, but in circumstances. I know, like, it's. I heard different things from the fathers, but I know or I think I know in the board of the bishops, they will try to reconcile the couple after cheating. They will try seeing what they can do about it, reconcile them together. I think after like strike two, they're out there. That's like I think after you commit adultery the second time, the bishops they make the agreement. Usually, I don't know, it's per case. To khalas, he cannot be faithful. He broke this inseparable bond. It's broken. It doesn't exist anymore, and
Yeah.
that allows him to take parts.
The two that I know, and sure, there's more exceptions.
Is
but,
that one of them?
yeah, cheating,
Okay.
like you said, and then like abuse.
Yeah, that's
So like
that's
if
what
abuse gets to the point where like it's getting too far, or
Mhm.
even if like police get involved, like abuse to that point with guidance of like the father confession,
Mhm.
it could merit like that a divorce.
Yeah.
But we're not again, and the problem is I always want to keep the asterisk that divorce is not an option,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's only in extreme cases that should even be considered. So like they've gone to Abuna 6-7 times in the course of like 6 years, and the abuse keeps coming back, or like the abuse is getting too far now where it's like it's leaving like blood or like whatever. So like it's not like at the first occurrence, khalas, we're done.
Yeah.
No, the point is it's a battle, it's a struggle. So like it's a continual thing. Maybe this has been going on for 5-6 years, but then khalas, like at that point, like maybe that at that point. So it's not at the first case where like, okay, I'm gonna turn. This is an option. Let's do it.
It says here that another case is abandoning the faith.
Ooh, yeah.
I guess.
That's a good one.
Like if they
Yeah.
turn like another religion.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
That's where they
Maybe-
push a lot.
Or maybe like both of them abandon the religion. Then obviously they're going more towards the secular views, I guess. Or I don't know. Depends which religion they're going towards.
Well,
the marriage is still intact. I'm pretty sure.
if what? If one person gets changed, leaves
Dips
the faith.
out, dips out, but like not to like a great extent. Like if they sort of like their dogma or their tux is like sort of iffy, then they still like the marriage is still like very
Yeah, I think so. But like the thing is, what we have to keep in mind is, for example, if they get a divorce and it's not approved by the church,
Yeah.
they're basically not excommunicated, but they're no longer part of the church.
Yeah.
Like if they get a divorce and they were not allowed, or like that was on their own like choice,
Okay.
then the church will no longer accept them back, right? To my understanding,
Is it because like they don't
because they broke the bond with no like
yeah
I mean
they don't respect like the marriage of the Coptic Orthodox Church that they gave them.
Yeah, I mean, and not just of respect.
Respect,
Like,
yeah.
they've broken the sacrament. They've broken the bond, and like I said, that's why any divorce case always it's very heavily involved, and it's not just at the priest level. Like the bishop gets involved in like these kind of things because
Yeah.
it's a big deal. So like, that's why obviously we should never have divorce as an option, because if you have divorce in it, the church won't grant it to you, like because none of these extreme cases happen. That's you willing to sacrifice that you're no longer part of the Coptic Church.
This also, if we can just branch out of marriage, this also applies to like other, how do I say, other positions in the Coptic Church. For example, monks. Like once they become a monk, khalas, they're dead from the world, and they live their monastic vows until the end of their days. However, there's like certain cases where monks actually do not want to live the life anymore, and they leave the monastery, and it's very rare, and they obviously have their reasons. But when you enter these like roles that God gave you, whether it be like an archdeacon, a priest, a monk, whatever, marriage. You can't have the mentality that you can always get out, because with that mentality, the struggle is already lost, the battle is already lost.
Yeah.
I think that's good on marriage because we have 2 episodes on it already. Well, dating, but anyway. So let's get into unction of the sick. So what is unction of the sick?
Yeah, you got it.
So unction of the sick is the sacrament. Are we good?
Yes.
Is the sacrament of the lamps, from what I understand. And in the early church, actually,
Sacrament of the what?
of lamps. And I'll explain. So like in the early church, how this sacrament was done was it was done with 7 lamps, and it like each lamp, it's 7 lamps to the 7 prayers.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't know if you guys have seen the unction of the sick prayer, but it's in a plate of oil with 7 cotton balls put in the shape of a cross, and each prayer Abuna lights a candle. So that's just a fun fact how the early church, they actually had the 7 lamps too.
That is, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna look at this 1 second. So the number 7, I actually recently learned this, signifies the 7 spirits of God, which are mentioned in the book of Revelations, and this is Revelation chapter 3 verses 1, which I never knew. It's really cool. What are they?
Do you know?
That I'm shy.
Yeah, I'll look it up while you keep talking.
Okay. The unction of the sick obviously is there for not only the physically sick, but it's also there for the mentally sick. It's done obviously by the priest only, or the priest ranks, and Abuna actually has to fast. This is seen as a sacrament where not only the recipient but also the priest must fast, and Abuna even recommends the rest of the family to fast before the sacrament is given. And the reason is, as for communion, repentance, and confession, you have to abstain and also pretty much be in a thought process or a state of contemplation before you bestow of the sacraments. The sacrament obviously has 7 prayers. Each prayer is a plea for God to heal the ailments, diseases, whatever it may be. And there's, from what I understand, the 7th prayer, Abuna says it in silence, and it's pretty much, God forbid, if it's God's will for the person to pass, Abuna says it in silence, that he wishes for the soul to have a safe passage up to heaven and not have a hardship getting up. So,
I know it's like, for example, it's done pretty often, like in a hospital while the person's on their hospital bed, or like let's say they're sick at home. We also do it once a year during Great Lent, like it's the Friday right before Holy Week.
What do you? Friday before?
Sorry, I was gonna say, is this any sickness?
Like, any sickness?
Yeah, or when's the point? Like if you have a cold.
No, I don't think it's to that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's most of the time, at least that I've seen, it's most of the time it's when they're approaching like their final days, or like, you know, even if it's like a very bad sickness, because sometimes they do heal, and the prayer and the goal, like the belief is that God willing that they will heal from this, through this sacrament. But sometimes if they do, that's why the 7th one is granted, that they will have safe passage if this ends up being khalas, their final day.
After or besides the physical, also the mental illness. Like I know, they also do it if like a devil, God forbid, is within you,
tormenting them.
Then they perform this sacraments.
Wait, question. You know how you said it's in like the plate of oil with the cotton? Is that not the same thing as what's the prayer they do during the Lent, and where they come to your house? Where when it comes to your house, what's it
the
called?
prayer for the blessing of the house. Is it called the blessing of the house?
What is it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Indeed,
one. Indeed.
yeah.
Is that the same meaning?
Well, I know the prayers are different. I know the prayers for each are different.
Yeah, but
It is 7 candles though. It's 4 and 2, or 1, 2, 3, 5 and 2, and it's in the shape of a cross.
Okay.
The meaning is different though. I know that much.
Like it's not the 7 spirits still?
No, I think the cotton balls are still the 7 spirits.
Oh, okay.
But it's for blessing the house. Am I wrong, or
Yeah.
this sacrament? Landil. We need some research on this.
I
guys. We need some research.
Yeah.
There's a part of it like where Abuna obviously performs the sacrament, right? But there's also a part of it where the recipient must have faith and belief in the sacrament.
Yep.
Such as communion. Communion, you have to believe that you are receiving the body and blood of Jesus Christ, and it will have effect on you. It's like what you put into it, you get out of it, sort of.
Okay, question.
Yes.
You know how people are in a coma, and some people are like, "Oh, can you come give my son communion?" Like he's in a coma.
In a coma. How's he gonna receive communion?
Just let me finish.
Sorry.
He was like, Abuna's like, "No, I can't do that because he has to be
Yeah.
wanting to receive it and like well enough to receive it. Is this the same? Like,
With this,
yeah, is it same?
well, I mean, like he said, the one of the reasons I was saying, like, what if the person does die? At least one of the not justifications, but the reasons that I was reading was, one of the reasons could be they didn't fully believe or have faith that this was going to heal them.
God forbid, yeah.
God forbid, but that's so. I don't know if it. I mean, if they don't have a say, or like they're on their bed and they can't really say anything.
If they're a believer and they're in the faith and then the church, a strong member, and they, God forbid, get in a coma or are gonna die, then I
Yeah.
don't see a problem why the unction of the sick cannot be performed in them, honestly.
Yeah.
The other part that I would say, like, is that how great of an impact it also has on the family. Like, I heard from Abuna, I forgot his name, but pretty much the point that he's making was when someone is sick, the greatest thing that you can give them is spiritual sounding words. Like, they don't need, like, sure, like, comfort is nice, a hug, some coffee, whatever you like, comfort food, whatever it may be. But the most, like, filling or the most comforting thing that you give someone that while they're sick is just spiritual words, spiritual sound advice, or what's it called, encouragement for the life to come. Because
Yeah.
at this time when you're in this low point,
Yes.
you fear. You obviously fear, you know.
It is candil. It's called candil.
Candil, indeed. Yeah.
That's what we said, right?
Yeah. Okay, I have one actually. So actually the structure, I just remember this.
Wait. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're all good. You're all
It
good.
says here it's performed in a communal setting during Holy Week. Is that the
Yes.
thing where it's like I saw the TikTok once? It's like where you attend your own funeral, basically.
That's different,
It's on
right?
Friday. The
Is
Friday
that-
before Holy Week.
That's the that's the this right here, the unction of the sick.
Yeah, is that what?
The Friday, no, she meant the Sunday one after Palm Sunday, right? The this for Palm Sunday, you do the general funeral
You're talking
prayer.
about the general-
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
no,
that
that's
that's not the same
separate
thing?
things.
That's
That's
different
different,
things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is performed in a communal setting during Holy Week.
The Friday before Holy Week. Wait, the funeral?
I don't know
or-
when, but no, like the sacrament.
Yeah, the sacrament of the unction of the sick.
Mhm.
It's the Friday, like Max said.
Don't-
Oh, sorry. It's the Friday before.
Yeah, it's called the general candil. I have it says I have something here that I can read about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, so like I said, this is once a year the church performs the sacrament in the church, and it takes place the last Friday right before Holy Lent, and it's called the general candil.
Mhm.
So right before Holy Week, I mean. So it says it serves the purpose of reminding people of the importance and significance of the sacrament, sacrament of the unction of the sick, for the healing of every believer. So serving all those believers who have not called the priest privately to their home. So obviously we all have our own sickness, but if somebody's dealing with a very desperate sickness at that time, or even if it's not like a physical one, it could be mental or it could be spiritual illness. This is an opportunity like for them in that to receive that reminder and blessing.
Something beautiful that I find in all these sacraments is that if you notice, like actually for the unction of the sick, you're supposed to confess the sacraments of repentance and confession before the sacrament of the unction of the sick. That must be done beforehand. And after you get the unction of the sick, you must partake of the sacrament of Eucharist. And if you notice in all the sacraments, it all starts with repentance and confession, and it has to end with Eucharist. That's sort of like the structure of how you're supposed to like receive the sacraments.
What if they're unable to?
Unable to receive Eucharist?
Because in the instance
Coma.
of the coma, yeah.
It's tough.
And they can't confess while they're in coma either.
Yeah. It's to the discretion of the priest. Obviously, like, if they're unable to, God is a merciful God, right?
Yeah.
He's a fair judge, and he sees and he judges based on his.
But at least that, like he said, the family should fast, the priest should fast as they can. And I was reading that the one that we were saying, the blessing of the home, I think it is the prayer may be a little different, but it's the same. It's the same as far as I understand.
Oh,
The
okay.
same exact, like it's part of the sacrament of the unction of the
I
sick.
did not know. So it's the same one. Pretty
Yeah.
Much. Okay.
And it says here that it's not restricted only to like families that want to bless their home. Like it could be at
Your
any
car.
time you can. Yeah, and at any time it doesn't. Even if you like want to bless your home like another time again or something. It's
So it's
not
the
only,
same like ritual, I guess.
Yeah, it's not restricted just to like just the people at the home or the sick.
Can I add on to that
Yeah.
for a second? So, can you say that last point again? Sorry.
That it's not restricted only to like the people that just bought a new home or like just the people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are on their like that are in the hospital.
If I can like sort of just like shoot like a topic that was like in the air for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I think I just want to see your thoughts about it, and it's pretty much the idea that using physicians is against God's will, and why like we shouldn't like we should lean away from medicine and khalas, the unction the sick, and if God doesn't heal them, then it's God's will. It's a take that people take, believe me. And what do you guys think about it?
No.
No,
I
explain
don't know.
why.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, a lot of people go into the medical field to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's anything that's against God's like values and morals and the church's values and morals. A lot of people go into like nursing or being doctors to help these people,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like go into it for spiritual reasons as well. So I don't think that's anything bad
Yeah.
at all.
If I can just like add something beautiful, like in the book of Joshua, it actually I'm gonna read this. It talks a lot about doctors and medicine, and it says, I'm gonna read right here: "Give the physicians his dignity, for the Lord created him." Like God created the physician, and
Yeah.
he's the one that gave him the power. It's not like the physician's the one that's mixing the potions and giving him the cure. It's God's grace that allows the physician to even exist.
Yeah,
and then
almost
beyond,
he works through them, I feel.
exactly. And also, medicine comes from above. That's also said in the book of Joshua. And one more, God created medicine from the earth, and the wise man does not hate it. That's said in the book of Joshua. So, in my eyes at least, I don't see medicine and the unction of the sick sort of colliding with each other. I think they're like hand in
think-
hand, and they.
Yeah, but I think
Don't forget, Luke was the physician.
yeah,
Right.
he
He
was.
accompanied Paul and Barnabas. You know, I mean, I'm sure if they had medical ailments,
Luke was taking care of them.
yeah, and that, like that reminds me of a topic that like God throws a bunch of things at you and like
Mhm.
signs, or like, you know, here's this opportunity, here's this person that you can marry, here's this and that, but we're waiting for it to like fall on our lap. Like
Mhm.
no, we're still have a part to play in it. God has blessed these doctors, has blessed the hands, you know, to perform and to heal us. Like, it's not just like asaba rabbana, that means that khalas, I abandon everything. Like,
Well, something
know.
that I hear actually is that like if you wanna, this is what my father confession told me. If you want to test that something is given from God, you have to flee it. And if you flee it and it still approaches you and it doesn't want to leave you, then it's the will of God. Because like God forbid, say
yeah,
something's gonna get bestowed on you and you flee, because it could be a trap from the devil, even though it might like look good from the outside. Like some examples could be like the priesthood, being given the priesthood. This might be a trap from Satan himself,
yeah,
even though it looks like a very blessed thing, and you have to flee away from these things. And if it still like pushes and pushes and pushes you, then you're safe and you feel like it's God's hand playing it. But if you
Yeah.
flee and something changes, then you're like, wow, like this was not meant to be. Then God's will,
no.
it's testing
We
God.
have to make sure we keep our eyes open, though,
Mhm.
our spiritual eyes open, because we may be fleeing and like in the back of our head we've already khalas abandoned it. You know.
So as we've gone through all the sacraments, I see that we always come back to priesthood. So I feel like this is a good transition to what is priesthood.
Why do we come to priesthood? Come back to priesthood. You go first. Okay.
Oh, why do we come back to priesthood?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask.
I mean, a lot of the stuff is performed under a priest, is it not? The
Oh,
confession, marriage.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Unction of the sick.
misunderstood you. Yeah, so who had marriage or no? What was the last one? Unction of the sick. I had unction of the sick, right?
You did.
So okay.
Okay, well,
Man, someone just answer it, please.
so a priest is he's a shepherd
the teacher.
of the flock,
Mhm.
really. And the biggest thing is he is still along the lineage of laying of hands from the disciples all the way down from the bishops and so forth. So he is in line, and we can trace him back from the apostolic
succession.
apostolic
And
succession.
deacons are not in that line. Like the priest only puts the cross on the deacon's head, right?
Yeah.
Until is it full deacon? Do they put the cross? Or they? I think laying of hands is only priesthood, correct? Or
No, laying of hands is on the
the archie?
yeah. That's what I
Sorry, what
thought
are we
as well.
talking about?
So laying of hands is like apostolic succession. So it's like when the bishop also breathes in the mouth to give the, what is it? The breath of
Are you
life?
talking about ordination or what?
Yeah, like in the
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
ordination.
okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And it's not done in deacons because they are not part of the, besides the archie. You said.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so, but
I think
could
you're
be
right. I
wrong.
think you're right because he can give the blood, right?
yes,
And that-
yeah. So they have you know, they're granted that
Uh-huh.
that they're able to do that.
And before Eucharist, I'm pretty sure for the archie as well, the bishop or the priest breathes in the mouth of the person to receive the spirits.
Yeah, just like Christ did it to the disciples when he granted them the
The power to
to bind and loose.
Mm-hmm,
So my whole point is the priest is a shepherd, and he's been granted that like that grace and that those powers, I guess, from God.
mm-hmm.
Trace it all the way back, and his responsibility is to shepherd the church,
Mm-hmm.
and he does the communion and takes confessions and
All the
more
sacraments
things like
that
that.
we covered.
Marriage,
Yeah,
And
all
also,
the sacraments, basically.
yeah, and I feel like it's not just a profession. Obviously, like he's not just signing the paper
Oh,
where
no, sure.
Sayyidina gives him the paper and he signs it. It's like it's his life. Khalas, he gave up his old life and now he's leading this life where he has to guide the church, and he's the mediator sort of between the congregation and the church in terms of receiving the Eucharist. Obviously, like I was taught that Abuna always faces this, and when you enter the church, the attention is never on you. It's like on the Eucharist. So even though Abuna is like the one mediating the sacraments, it's always like, it's not like he's the middleman, but he is the middleman, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
disturb the connection, if that makes sense, sort of.
Yeah, I have a good easy to remember is that first of all, there's 3 ranks in the priesthood. The first is the order of deacons, so all the deacons, and we're talking about the subdeacons,
Five
regular
ranks.
deacons like reader, chanter, so forth. Subdeacons and archdeacon,
Deacon, archdeacon.
deacon, yeah. And then second is the order of the priests, which is what we were just talking about. And the last is the order of the bishops, and the pope is a bishop. He is just the head of the bishop, right? And the easy thing to remember is deacons are servants, priests are teachers, and bishops are overseers and shepherds.
Beautiful.
So, like, you can think about it, and priests are teachers for us, and every single church has these teachers, and that's also the reason that they're great for. We're blessed to have them for confessions as spiritual guides as well. But yeah, and all of us deacons here are servants.
I was gonna ask, do you have to go through like, sorry, what are the levels again? Like in order?
Deacons, priests, and bishop, and obviously under
No, of like
deacons.
deacons,
Deacons.
like the ranks.
So chanter, reader,
Sub.
subdeacon, deacon, archdeacon.
Is that 5?
Yeah,
It's 5, yeah.
Okay, so I know the archdeacon one. That one is when before you become a priest, right?
yes.
Do they have to go through that?
What was the
Or-
question, sorry?
Like, do they have to go through all the ranks before they become a priest?
Well, usually, can I answer?
Yeah, you
So usually, like I think I know this like pretty well. Say like they're a good candidate and they're gonna become priest. Khalas, it's confirmed. I think it happens like a couple nights before the priesthood. They just like get elevated to the arshi. So then because you have to. I'm pretty sure you have to become a full deacon before you become the priesthood. But it's not like 2 years beforehand. It can be the night before, and then you become the priest the day after. Like it's not a long period of time that you have to wait.
Okay, so what happens when a priest is ordained, basically?
So obviously, like the laying of the hands has like insane significance because it shows like you can trace it back to Christ. That's like the amazing part of our church. Like in the apostolic tradition, like succession. Sorry, it's like we kind of oversee. I feel like at least for me, because like it's insane to think that my bishop, his hand, had a hand that was put on his head, and like continue all the way tracing it to Christ, and we can trace it to Christ. And this shows like that it's not only like the true faith, which is a part of it, but it also shows that the apostolic succession is maintaining the correct faith. So it's up to my priest, my bishop, that had their hands laid on to them, to maintain this true faith, sort of, and to have it applied to his parish, for example. I would say that something that I learned from some priests is that they say the most important part that the priest has to maintain is the peace of the church. That's like the number one thing that they have to do, because along with the peace of the church comes other great virtues. They can't be putting like other things above, like what social activities, whatever it may be. The peace of the church comes number one. You were gonna say something?
No, I agree with that.
One more point. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
You notice, like I noticed at least, that when priests get ordained, they usually do not get ordained in their home church, and I really like didn't understand why until like I saw like the application behind it. Because like when you have a priest and he's new, it's not like you know his past sins, which is a part of it, but like he's the image of Christ in your church.
Yeah.
He's obviously with blemish, but like he is the representation in all these sacraments, the one that mediates between Christ And I found it very amazing that they sort of gotta like, obviously it's bittersweet that they gotta move church, but like the meaning behind it of how like they have to accept the bride into the church and they do this whole celebration. It's something that's really amazing.
I forgot to say one thing at the what is a priest, but in the book of Acts, that's kind of the first spot that it's mentioned is presbyters or priests. It's mentioned that like the role came kind of as the church continued to grow, because at the time it was only bishops.
Yeah.
And they needed more clergy to help administer and lead the churches, right? And so they were selected in place of the bishop to administer the Eucharist and shepherd the church, obviously to forgive and retain sins. So that came as a need, and they filled that role.
Well said, sir.
What makes priesthood a sacrament rather just a role? Why is it so like holy?
Well, what do you guys think first before Gio answers?
Maria, hit us with something.
I think. Okay, go ahead, Maria.
No.
Oh,
Maria.
I was gonna say, like, I think how Maria said in the beginning that it's the kind of the root of all the sacraments. I think it's like so holy and so needed that it has to be a sacrament, even if it's not non-redemptive. Even if it is non-redemptive. Sorry.
I think it's also very essential. Like it's kind of someone guiding us through our walk with God, and he's there throughout, like in everybody. I don't want to say like in everybody's life, but he knows our circumstances, so he can help guide us. Because I feel like that can't just be anyone. It has to be super, like, it has to be up there. I don't know if that got my point, but.
No, it did.
What's the period called when they spend 40 days in the?
Yeah, it's where they get trained up, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
There's a name for it?
Probably.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
I'm not sure of the name.
Well,
but
they
yeah,
spend 40 days away in a monastery.
in the monastery.
In the monastery.
Yes.
Usually, I think in America, they try keeping the priests here in America in the American
Yeah,
monasteries.
and they basically learn everything about
the
sacrificing,
talks, the orders,
the whole entire.
the whole
Is that where they
literature.
learn
rites.
to pray the liturgy?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I was gonna answer to your previous question about why is it not a role, and then I'll let you hop
Oh,
in.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
That I think that the first way we can answer this is we shouldn't take an example from, for example, the Protestant church, like how that they separated out that the sacrament of priesthood is not a sacrament that exists in that church, and they use this verse in First Peter chapter 2. The priesthood of all believers, which is we are all priests to God, right? I don't. That might have been paraphrased, but it says they use it to justify that everybody is a priest, right? And that's not the case, right? And that's why it's not just a role. This is a sacrament, and it's something that God granted. Like I said, it's part of the lineage. We're not all granted to be priests, right? We are granted to be servants of God, and that's why we fall under the role of the deacon if we want, right? But even in the early church, the rank of the apostles were bishops, which is part of the role, part of the three ranks of the priesthood. So like I said, we've been saying this verse many times. God granted them, Jesus Christ granted them the ability to forgive sins, the power to retain sins. He did that to the apostles. So that is something by the laying of hands that has been given to the priest. And it's not something that anybody can do. And that's why it's not just a role you sign up for and you get paid for. It's a commitment. It is something that you're granted, and the bishop must basically assign you to that, bless you with that.
Something visible that we see actually in it is the priest's name getting changed. Usually, that their name gets changed, and this is a sign of their new life as a servant of God. They're no longer like a layman serving Sunday school in the church. Khalas, the responsibility is taking care of the spirituality and the faithfulness of an entire church. So this new name sort of like, for us, not only like changes our perspective towards the person, but also allows them to realize that they're not just a layman anymore. They're responsible for a whole parish, which is like a whole new level of responsibility.
No, for sure.
I was gonna ask, like, has any priest ever like gone back? Like, they realize like, oh, this is too much.
I'm sure there's certain situations.
There's stories of
where
priests changing,
or they've gotten their like title revoked, I guess.
Yeah, and there is certain situations that those things happen, but like it's not something that's like taught or publicized. But like there have obviously been situations like that, and there's priests that have gone like off track or have started doing things. And obviously, we've seen that in the early church. Just because they're a priest or bishop doesn't mean that they're, that they can't
All-powerful?
commit sins or that they won't go astray, right? So some of them have created heresies, and the church has excommunicated them, right? Like Arius, for example, like the big one that we all know. So like it's just as in the early church, we're all humans, so everybody is at risk of going, south. At that point, the church stands on its foundations, and if that happens, they will get removed.
And that's why there's a lot of checks and balances in our church. I know like there's a notion outside of our church that they think like orthodoxy consists of 60 old men just ruling like the whole faith, but in reality, like our hierarchy, like I actually didn't know this, but like, do you guys know like what the top of the Coptic hierarchy is?
The synod,
The synod. The
Yeah,
synod
yeah.
is like the highest
which
one.
is what? Let's hear them answer it first. What's the synod? It's everybody thinks it's the Pope is the one that gets the final say.
one vote.
It's not the Pope. It's
I don't know what it is, but I know
it's the head of. It's all the bishops. It's the assembly of the bishops.
Not all the bishops. It's a elected bishop.
But the assembly
Yeah,
of
yeah,
several
yeah.
bishops. I mean, but yeah,
And they all have one vote. That's the beautiful part. Like
everybody
Pope-
gets one vote.
Yeah.
So the Pope gets one vote, just like all the bishops. But yeah, sorry.
And under the Holy Synod, so Holy Synod is number one, and obviously because it's not just one person, it's the
multiple.
assembly. And under the Holy Synod, you have the Patriarch, which is the Pope, and he has to since he's the Baba, the father of our whole church, he takes shots on like stuff that is necessary for like the father of our whole church, whether it be like finances, ordaining new churches, whatever it may be. And on that same line, he's equal to the metropolitans and the bishops. Different ranks, different names, different dignitaries, but their responsibilities or the power given to them, it's equal. They're equal in the eyes of God. There's this notion in Catholicism that Peter is the first of the disciples, and I want to hear your take on this, guys. Why do you guys? Because it was said, I think, in which verse?
I hand you the keys.
I hand you the keys of the church to
Yeah.
Peter, and they use this verse to say that the Pope is without blemish, and he's the favored one among the rest.
Yeah, and on this rock I build my. Yeah.
What do you guys say to that?
what is the question?
The question is like when people from other denominations such as Catholicism say that they use the verse that says Peter is the first out of the disciples, and they use this in their religion to say that the Pope is the first, not equal with the bishops, and he is. They push it and they say that he is without blemish,
Infallible.
infallible. There you go. And what's the other one? Kerem, his words are
Without error.
without error. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that like Orthodoxy agrees with that, and why or why not?
I mean, I don't think Orthodoxy believes that anyone's perfect.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I think that's
we don't
it, yeah.
support that.
How like the first of like the disciples though,
in what sense?
in the sense of like God telling Peter that here's the keys of the church, and they take this verse and say that he was the first one or he's the highest one out of the disciples. Correct?
Yeah, and that's I can hop in. Like we
Yeah.
don't
Please.
consider any of them. All the disciples are the same rank,
Mm-mm.
which means all the bishops are at the same rank. It's the same thing because they were all bishops. The apostles were bishops, so there was nobody set apart, right? And to add, I was gonna add on to what you were saying.
Please.
The bishops, the Pope, all of them, in like an ecclesiastical perspective,
Yeah.
they all have the same priesthood authority, right? They just have a different, like, the only difference is like in administration.
Yeah.
The Pope has different duties, the bishops have different duties, but they all have the same, in terms of like the sacrament, they all have the same priesthood authority to ordain, to, get them. But yeah, that's like the whole umbrella of priesthood.
The difference between bishops and metropolitans, like that rank or that title, it's pretty much, from what I understand, dignitary. Like it's like an honor bestowed, but like in all reality, like they are equals. Like sure, you can see that the metropolitan usually is going to be the one that offers the lamb or does the offering of the lamb and leads the liturgy, such as also like the hegumen priest. If there's a hegumen priest present, he's the one that leads the liturgy. But truly in their eyes, like they seriously see each other equal. I'll give you guys an example if I could. I was recently in the monastery and like seeing the monks fighting over who starts the liturgy or who leads the liturgy, it's insane. Like their humility, they're like fighting and like like some of them are weeping because they do not want to lead the liturgy.
Oh, I thought they were like, I want to do it. I wanna
No,
do
no,
it.
no.
I
No,
was like,
other way
are you
around.
sure?
There's monks that go at the end of the church and they hide behind like pillars, or what is it called?
Yeah, the deck.
Benches,
Benches.
just so the other monks can't see them and like
Wow.
ask them to go. I saw it with my own
Who
eyes. And
chooses?
well, they
Like,
have to
it's a
decide if
collective
they're all
decision?
like the same rank and they're all priests and there's no bishop, then they have to make the decision, obviously. But it's insane the humility they have, and it's not like, yes, I get to do it. It's not like that at all. It's insane how like their humility is like incredible, and they see each other truly as like not only equals, but like
Yeah.
they see themselves less than everyone else.
No,
It's insane.
I was gonna ask this kind of off topic, but why, like, can priests get married but bishops can't?
because bishops are chosen from the monks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't.
Oh,
There's never a priest that gets ordained into a bishop, right?
really?
The monks, the bishops are
Priest
all
monk.
chosen on
Priest monk.
priest monks in monasteries, right?
Yeah.
But there's never, and that's the whole point. The reason for that is because that in the church history, some people have bought their way to become a bishop, right? Before that was a change that occurred. So now all the monks, all the bishops are chosen from the monastery, whether they're elected priest monks at the monastery or whatever.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Max,
Yeah.
but what do you say to people that say that in the early church, they look at the early church, and they say that some bishops were married and had families in the early church? What do you sort of say to that?
I mean, it could have happened because again, that church right was not established yet.
Mm-hmm.
That bishops should be chosen from the monks,
Mhm.
among the monks, right? That wasn't something that was necessarily followed.
Yeah.
But yeah, something that I wanted to add on was, this is different from like a pastor, for example, or some other
What's a
kind
pastor?
like a pastor in like a Protestant church.
Oh, okay.
The bishops, all of these, like the priesthood and the priests and the bishops, this is their full-time job. It's not like the priest goes on church on Sunday and then works 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Like this is their full commitment. So
There are
they're not just
There are exceptions.
there are exceptions, definitely very rare.
Really?
I know some priests that actually work as dentists Monday to Friday. They have,
I've-
It's
I've
very
never
rare,
heard that.
very rare.
it's rare. It's very rare.
But like
Exceptions.
my most
Sorry.
95% of the time, let's say 95% of the time, their job is full shepherd.
Yes.
And it doesn't just go beyond confessions and repentance and confession and communion. They're responsible for shepherding the flock, visiting people, healing, like helping the sick in the hospital, all of these things. So like that's a big difference from like, if you go to other churches where like you'll see them and the moment they're out of the church, like halas, they're gonna change into their gym shorts. No, like the priest wears his black everywhere he goes. Because he has basically put to death his life. Just like the monks. They wear black because their former life is done. They've even thrown away their old name. They are no longer the same person. They have committed themselves to the church and they have put to death their past life. So like it's a big thing.
If I can, sorry, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
If I can sort of segue on like the deacons, for example, like the agnostics, I think a lot of people like, I'm not an agnostic actually, but I feel like I'm not even ready to be an agnostic because like if you see like the actual like formal.
What is that? I'm so sorry.
Agnosis is it's the second rank of the deacon, so it goes translator and then reader. It's a reader, and the requirements to become a reader, it's incredible. Like I think people like do not realize how heavy of a duty it is to become a reader because like nowadays it's like cool, البس البطرشيل تفضل with the rest of the deacons, but even in the early church like only deacons were even allowed to be in the altar, for example, and like the highest deacons, the archers were allowed to be in the altar. And if you like go to like their page, I think it's like on the Holy Synod official page, the requirements, I'll give you guys a couple if you guys want, but the requirements for the Gnosis rank, one of them is like you have to know all the readings and you have to like pray the daily readings or the daily readings of the liturgy. And I can speak for myself, I struggle with this a lot. I don't read the daily readings of the liturgies every single day. It goes to like visiting the sick. This is not only the responsibility of the priest, it's also Ognostos and subdeacons and full deacons. They have this responsibility as well. The list goes on, but like I think it's like amazing to see like how heavy like deacons have it as well. Like we always think the priest like kullu alayhu, but the deacons like they have an insane responsibility as well.
On the deacon thing, which one is deacon? Wait, diakon? What is that one?
Diakon is just deacon, regular deacon,
Oh,
right?
is that the one that can give blood, or is it the archdeacon? Both?
Both, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Why is that?
Why can they only give the blood?
Why can they only give the blood? You mean not give communion?
They can give the blood during communion, right?
Yeah, like, but they can't administer.
They can give the body of Christ.
They can give the body.
Cannot.
No, they
Cannot. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say, yeah, they cannot give the body. They can only give the blood.
Because
Yeah, if you know the reason.
I know, but I know when they're ordained to give the blood, and
Okay.
they also.
It's part of their rank. That's one of the roles of the ranks.
Oh.
Why can't they give the body? That's a really good question. I need to do some research on this as well.
Yeah.
I can guess, but I would rather not guess on this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that one. But we can both say that they don't. No, none of those, the archdeacon and the deacon can never hold the paten or the body. They only they hold the chalice and the the spoon.
Fun fact to add on top of that, you guys know like the deacon and the archdeacon were the only ones in the early church, even like up until a couple hundred years ago, that were even allowed to like dry the paten in the chalice. Like we have like little deacons now, like
that do it.
Yeah.
that do it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
back in there, they're not even touching it like physically. Like they're like using towels, and it's only the deacons and archdeacons.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like undermine like our like the dignity of this stuff and say like we're losing our dignity. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like how times have changed.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Just to clarify on something we said earlier about the confidentiality of the priest, we just got clarification from Obuna. And if it's like extreme situations like a murder or like anything like illegal, like the priest is covered by the law. But if it's like spirituality, it's up to his discretion. It's up to his like.
Yeah, like ecclesiastically, it's up to him if he wants to go through with it or not, and like tell some. Like,
But under
tell
the law, he is protected,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, which I didn't know. So that's.
I mean, if
thanks
it's
for
like a
clarifying
murder,
that.
like they'll try to convince someone to turn themselves in, but like
Yeah.
that's extreme.
Mm-hmm. God forbid.
Yes.
Well.
Us?
Who wanted to know that?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for the outro?
Yes.
Okay, this one's just regular, right? Yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
We are C.
Okay.
Oh, we say.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do I say that? Or
You guys don't say thank you to the
Yeah.
guests. Yeah. No.
We
I'm
will.
not there. Which one are you saying?
The questions of the youth as
You
well.
say thank you. Okay, yeah, Lel.
2, 1. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you, Max and Gio, for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
We're on all social media. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. We are CTP. Have a blessed day.
night.